And, we didn't plan on talking about this, but I do think it's an important thing to point out, since we're on the subject. With people that are starting some kind of running program or some kind of new exercise program, an important thing to consider is the fact that your fascial system, your soft tissue system, whatever you want to call it, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to become at its most vulnerable state. So you might feel sore now, having just started running again, but I've seen people who are like, "Oh, I'm stuck at home," and I've heard this be said before, but now it's just exponentially more so. People are like, "Oh, I'm stuck at home. I'm gonna run every day. I'm gonna, I'll ice afterwards, but I'm gonna run every day. I'm gonna lift every day. I'm gonna do this, that, and the other." And then, you check in with them after a week, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine." You check in with them at 4 weeks, and they're in hell. They're hurting all over. They've decided they're not going to do it as much. They've either stepped it off on the number of days that they exercise, or they've quit entirely because they're in so much pain, because that fascia, that soft tissue, everything is changing. It's adapting to the load that you're putting on it, and it's too much load because people aren't ramping it up. There's no kind of, you know, I'm at a loss for words, but they're not ramping it up. They're just trying to go straight after it. And,
Progressive overload, which would
thank
be
you.
perhaps the
Good
term
point.
you're looking for.
But everybody wants to treat a new exercise program like they're still in their 20s, and it just doesn't work that way.
With it, you're stealing fire in your 20s. It's gonna come back to get you, whether that be your habitual habits that you build, and then you try to continue those said habits, without a rest and recovery schedule. Like I touched on before, our bodies will adapt if you allow them to. Some strength coaches would say that you don't have an injury problem, you have a programming problem, meaning that you're lifting too heavy too often, or you're not taking long enough breaks. We know, like you've told me, discs will heal over time. Microfractures in the spine will heal over time if you allow them to. But if you're out there trying to be a gym hero, which is most people's problem, and coming to see somebody like me that can put the brakes on you, teach you properly how to move at first, and then I'll allow you to hit the gas as we go. But most, and it becomes this cyclical, like, all or nothing. Here I go, I'm diving in the pool head first, and then here we go again. Now I'm injured again, and they just do that over and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over. And I guess working out's not for me. That's my number one fear to hear from somebody. It's like, I just keep injuring myself. I guess I'm just going to succumb to whatever and
Yeah.
just not exercise.
Well, and then they go get their image, and they go, "Oh, well, it's because I have 5 bulging discs. That must be why I can't ever exercise." And then it takes a lot of undoing for me to go, "Well, actually, a lot of people walk around with those in their back and never know about it. They're not in pain, but now that there's a diagnosis on it, you now have a reason as to why you can't work out anymore." And then there are the people that just say no, they don't accept it, and they go try to work out anyways. And then there are the people that are understandably concerned about it, and they try to back off of anything that's going to irritate that, which is the absolute worst thing that you can do for yourself. Okay, awesome. We did a really good job of keeping that one short.